You're tuning into Black and White Sports on YouTube. The no-holds-barred truth on sports. The main event starts now.
I'm back. Rodrance for Black and White Sports. We're going to talk about ESPN on ESPN Warfare, as well as the total and complete clusterfuck known as DWAYNE Haskins. We're going to talk about Justin Fields. And very quickly, I'm wearing the CNN, the worldwide leader in woke shirt. There's two different versions of this, one in a darker color scheme and one in this bright one. Available from the merch store. We're giving a quick 10% off in the store. Promo code LeBron Sucks. S-U-X, all one word. Let's get to this drama. As we know, the other day, the Redskins finally got fed up with DWAYNE Haskins' lazy ass, incompetent ass. Let's just be real. I'm going to come a little raw. I don't like DWAYNE Haskins. I'm not going to lie to you. I absolutely cannot stand these professional players that feel like they're entitled and don't want to work and apply themselves to their profession. They've gotten a tremendous opportunity while guys like Tom Brady get drafted in the 6th round and becomes the GOAT. Anything is possible if you apply yourself, and it's obvious that DWAYNE Haskins did not want to apply himself. Look, Ron Rivera, really good judge of character, I would say. His father was military, and as soon as Ron Rivera got hired, boom, it started coming out of Washington that DWAYNE Haskins was trash, that he didn't want DWAYNE Haskins. Jay Gruden, who was the coach in Washington at the time that DWAYNE Haskins was drafted, didn't want DWAYNE Haskins. He got drafted because Daniel Snyder's son went to the same high school or some bullshit like that in Washington. Absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. So, let's talk about the first story, and then Todd McShay getting slammed by Mark Sanchez over the first story. Because it's interesting. Todd McShay, and I like Todd McShay, I'm going to be honest with you, of a lot of these draft experts, McShay is the one I really like. He's been coming on with Russillo from way back in the SVP days. He still comes on Russillo's podcast. He is the draft expert that Ryan Russillo tends to agree with the most. Also, there's a couple of other things I've heard about Justin Fields, or one thing in particular from Trent Dilfer, and we'll jump into that a half a second. Because I do view these quarterbacks differently. However, I get where Todd McShay is trying to come from in light of DWAYNE Haskins, in light of Cardale Jones. Okay, people forget Cardale was drafted just 3 or 4 years ago. Played in the XFL, pretty good, but not an NFL quarterback. Now, let's jump into this real fast from the Todd McShay side. For several NFL evaluators, the consensus top pick is likely Trevor Lawrence. This is from 247sports.com. ESPN Draft Insider Todd McShay shuffled the quarterback ranking, moving BYU star Zach Wilson ahead of Justin Fields. Okay? This has created concern over Fields' draft stock. He has played 6 games this season, but certain moments have stood out to NFL evaluators. According to NFL analyst Desmond Howard, Field has not met the expectation and needs a big performance in the college football playoff to cement his status. His lack of playing time absolutely does concern me. I get that. Quote, he didn't reach those expectations, Desmond Howard said. He hasn't had the great season. And when we played against teams with a competitive pulse like Indiana, like Northwestern, he didn't show up well. That also concerns me. But the one thing I've got to say in defense of Fields is it's two different skill sets between Cardale Jones, DWAYNE Haskins, and Justin Fields, okay? This season, Fields has completed 72.6% of his passes, 1,500 yards, 15 touchdowns, including 3 300-yard passing games against Indiana, Rutgers, and Penn State. He was trash, and I do mean trash, in the Big Ten championship. Threw for 114 yards, 2 interceptions. And so McShay dropped him all the way down to 9th. And what I do know is Justin Fields was the clear-cut number 2 quarterback coming out in this draft. Behind Trevor Lawrence, Trent Dilfer, Ryan Russillo had a lengthy conversation about Justin Fields just last week in a podcast I listened to. And Trent Dilfer said Justin Fields can play quarterback. And he believed he absolutely was not going to be a bust in the NFL. He thought he would be a good starting quarterback. And he said that, frankly, he didn't think there was as much faults or even separation between Trevor Lawrence and Justin Fields. I disagree with that. I think Trevor Lawrence is going to hit and hit big. Okay, but the skill sets are different. Justin Fields, he is a lot more Kyler Murray than he is DWAYNE Haskins. DWAYNE Haskins is sitting back there like a lumpy turd in the pocket, cannot float around, does not run, does not scramble, is not mobile. DWAYNE Haskins is not a mobile quarterback. He's a pocket passer. Justin Fields is going to be much more akin to somebody like Kyler Murray. He's got to end up in the right system, okay? He's much more athletic than DWAYNE Haskins. Now, we got a little ESPN on ESPN warfare going on here. Mark Sanchez come out and slammed Todd McShay for dropping Justin Fields. And I can tell you that BYU quarterback, Zach Wilson, woo, that kid looks like he can absolutely play. He does. Now, this is what was said. Former NFL quarterback and USC star Mark Sanchez, butt fumble Mark Sanchez. But look, people forget Mark Sanchez, 2 AFC championship games, and a great college football quarterback. Strongly disagreed with the decision that McShay, basically, why McShay dropped Justin Fields is because of DWAYNE Haskins. That is absolutely why he was dropped. We have seen, I think there's concern about the program and the possible maturity levels around these quarterbacks coming out of Ohio State. Are they capable of handling the job at the next level? You know, one of those quarterbacks came from Urban Meyer. I just come out and said I think Urban would be a great NFL coach. So I don't know that I necessarily agree with that train of thought from Todd McShay. But I understand when the last two didn't hit, well, you're going to get a little nervous. Quote, I love Todd McShay. Sanchez said on Get Up, I think he does a great job evaluating quarterbacks, but hold on, Todd. You have to look at some of these stats now. Justin Fields, this kid's only lost 1 game as a starter. I don't know that I care about that. I need a notepad to go back and look at some of these kids' stats because he's so damn good. Listen, he's got 56 touchdowns to 8 interceptions with 73% completions. I don't know how it's fair to say Wilson has jumped Fields yet. I think it's way too early, and I think we're going to compare him to DWAYNE Haskins, and I think that's lazy and unfair. So, I mean, he basically just said Todd McShay is lazy, and he's being unfair to Justin Fields. I tend to agree with that, okay? I do. Regardless of what's happened out of the program of the last couple of quarterbacks, Cardale Jones had he had a pretty good head on his shoulders. In fact, he was at a MAGA rally not too long ago taking pictures with Trump supporters. Got to give Cardale a little credit for that. Breaking narrative, not being unafraid to get out there. And that shows some character. He didn't have his skill set to play quarterback was not good enough. It wasn't. But he had a nice little stretch with the XFL. He did. Now, Dwayne Haskins, I believe, is a different animal. He's immature. Now, this is a picture of them together, Justin Fields and Dwayne Haskins. But look, a lot of times these quarterbacks, these players with the same schools will go to the same functions together or same events or whatever, okay? And a lot of it is a show of unity for the college, okay? Because they're around each other for a certain amount of time. And, it shows, it helps with recruiting. Let's put it that way, okay? I don't know that I necessarily agree with Todd McShay for having dropped him in the draft ranking, but I will tell you this, or at least dropping him because of what's happened with Dwayne Haskins. Dwayne Haskins is he's turned everything into a dumpster fire. He's affecting Justin Fields. He's affecting Ohio State's reputation to churn out mature players at quarterback and to refine the skill set. And I still say it's a maturity issue. Dwayne Haskins has physical skills, but his head's not screwed on straight. So then you get concerned, well, is it an Ohio State thing? I'm not so sure. It's going to be interesting to see what happens with Justin Fields because of where is he going to end up, who is he going to end up with as if he gets with an offensive guru, Justin Fields may end up being a star in the NFL. But this goes to show you, Dwayne Haskins' actions affects all kinds of things. All kinds of things. He comes out of that school, he is representing Ohio State with his performance, with his attitude, with how he carries himself. I said the other day, if you're around Alex Smith in that quarterback room and Alex Smith's comeback doesn't motivate you to have your head screwed on straight, then you're worthless. You're worthless. If that guy can't motivate you to do right, you're not gonna do right. I'm laying you odds that by the time this comes out, John Matrix has already put out another story regarding Dwayne Haskins. So if you haven't seen that video, check it out. Peace. I'm out. Till next time.
Thanks for watching the show. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to tune in next time on Black and White Sports.